Hi, I'm Tammy, and this is Yoga with Tammy. Today we're going to do a sequence called Yoga for a Healthy Spine. Have you ever heard the expression healthy spine, healthy life? It's so true. The spine is like a superhighway for the whole body, and there's so much energy running through it. We know that a lot of us get congested and some back pain here, and as we can learn to become more flexible and limber in this area, you'll find that all of your movements and your whole day is just so much brighter and lighter. So let's get started. The very first thing we can do to get a sense of how healthy and flexible our spine can be is to really feel it elongate. And we can do this just with the breath. It's such a powerful tool to get started. So let's sit in a comfortable position. You can be in a chair. It doesn't matter as long as your spine is straight. So if you're in a chair, your feet are flat against the ground and you're not leaning against the back of the chair. And if you're sitting down, you can sit on a cushion or like me on the floor in any comfortable seated position, cross-legged, like me, one heel in front of the other, half lotus, anything that's comfortable. Just make sure that your head is stacked over your neck and your neck is stacked, your shoulders are stacked over your hips. So it's almost like somebody's pulling from the top of your head and down from your sits bones into the ground, one straight line. And you might want to tuck your neck, your chin down just a little bit so that you can feel an even nicer stretch along the back of your neck, which is part of your spine. And then from here, we're going to take a deep breath. We're going to do a yogic breath. And I have a whole video about how to do a yogic breath if you're interested. If not, we just want to feel on the inhale that we're extending out through the belly, expanding through the ribs and all the way up the chest. So on an inhale, we're going to breathe in slowly through the nose. So keep your mouth closed if you can. And then breathe out through the nose. On the next inhale, try to visualize the two strings pulling on either side as your spine stretches on the inhale and then releases on the exhale. So we're picturing the space between each vertebra of your spine get longer, taller, wider, and more spacious with each and every in-breath, and then release on the out-breath. So do about 3 of these on your own time. You might have any particular areas of tension in your spine. You can gently rest your attention there as you focus on the breath and allow the breath to work like a massage, really getting in there and helping to create expansion for you. Expansion and release, all through the breath alone, to move energy along the superhighway of the spine. Feel yourself growing taller with every in-breath. Okay, great. If your eyes were closed, you can bat them open now. And let's dip the head down so the chin reaches towards the chest, not forcing it, just allowing the back of the neck to elongate. If you feel it get tense or clamp up at any point, just stop right there. You don't need to go all the way down. And just take one deep breath, feeling this nice stretch along the back of the neck and even all the way down to the shoulders, you might feel it. Great. And then gently we're going to roll from side to side. So on an inhale, you're going to go from your chin being towards the chest to making an arc towards the right shoulder on an inhale. Very slow and gentle. And then on an exhale, dip the chin back down to the center of the chest. And on an inhale, roll back up to the left this time, the left shoulder. So overall, we have kind of a half moon shape. Exhale down. Inhale the chin to the right shoulder. Exhale down. Inhale to the opposite shoulder. Picture it almost like a very slow wave-like motion. No harsh angles. Just curves and waves, allowing your neck to slowly release and become a little more free. All the while maintaining the integrity of the straight spine. One more time on each side with the breath. And come to center. Great. So from here, we're going to do a sitting version of cat-cow. So it's obviously an excellent way of stretching the spine. That's the primary purpose here. But when we're stretching the spine, what we're really doing is working with energy. We're moving the energy up and down this superhighway. So on an inhale, you can have your hands anywhere they land on your thighs. If they reach like mine do to the knees, that's great for some added leverage, but anywhere's fine. Inhale, we arch the chin up and the whole chest. You're not forcing any stretch, but you're lifting your chest, your heart towards the sky. You can even bring your eyes all the way up as far as you can, like you're reaching the third eye between your eyebrows. And exhale, rolling forward, dipping the chin to chest. Huge stretch across the back of the spine. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, reaching towards the sky. Exhale, bowing towards the earth. Inhaling up. And last time, exhaling down. And you might feel the stretch getting bigger and bigger every time we exhale. Coming back to center. Let's take your right arm, so it'll be the opposite for you from what I'm doing, onto the ground. If it doesn't reach the ground, that's okay. You can even keep it on the side of your thigh here. And then lift up the opposite hand up. Inhale. And exhale, feeling a stretch all along the side body. We're not dipping forward or dipping back. We're picturing almost having a wall on either side of you. So we're feeling the stretch all along the center, all along the left body. Exhale down, and then inhale back up. And again, a nice curvy fluid motion down on the opposite side. So we've inhaled up. Exhale down. Inhale up, graceful like a ballerina. Exhale down. Inhale up. See if on every exhale we can use the breath, not force, to deepen the stretch, even just a millimeter. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up, last one. And exhale down. Inhale back to center. And now we're going to do a side twist. So bring your feet in front of you. And we're going to bring the left foot, so opposite from what I'm doing, down so that your heel is reaching towards your right sits bone. And then you bring your right foot crossing over the knee if you can. And you can use your hands on your knees here to just get yourself again into a straight spine position. Bring up the left hand. And then exhale, and let's go into our side twist. So you might already have your comfortable way of doing the twist. It can be like this, or like this. anything that's comfortable, but what's much more important than the twist is that your spine remains nice and straight. So we're inhaling up and exhaling, twist. Inhale up, exhale, twist. One more breath on your own time. And now let's switch sides. So we will bring the right foot to the left sits bone, crossing the left foot over the right knee. Make sure that we can shimmy ourselves into a straight spine. Lift up the right arm. And exhale into the twist. Not hunching over to deepen the twist. As far as you can go, gently working with the straight spine. And the breath is like almost like a breeze or a wind helping the movement along. You might find the twist deepening with each breath, even slightly. One more breath. Excellent. Now we're going to come onto our hands and knees for cat-cow. So we want our hands with the fingers stretched out and really pressing firmly into the mat. We don't want to put undue stress on the wrists. And with a focus on the middle three knuckles, pressing into the mat. The knees directly underneath the hips. And whatever's more comfortable for you with the toes up or down. And from here, we're going to do the same thing we did in sitting, but from this position here. So we're inhaling, chest to sky, shoulders dropped, eyes up. And exhale, chin to chest, stretching the back body. Inhale up. No need to rush. Just feel every delicious movement of this stretch. Inhale up and exhale down. From here, bring the toes to the mat. You want to bring your hands about half a foot forward, and we're going to come up into downward facing dog. Now your hamstrings might be a little stiff. We can walk the dog here, stretching out the back. And what we're aiming as we settle into our downward dog here is not to have any competition to bring the heels to the ground or anything like that. We want to make sure that we have a straight line from the shoulders to the tips of the fingers so that we're not hunching the back. And if you need to bend your knees, that is a great idea, even to do at first as a matter of course, to make sure that we have a long, straight, stretched spine. And as you feel comfortable with this stretch, you can slowly begin to straighten the legs. But the important thing is that we're propelling up from the hands to the shoulders, from the feet to the hips. Our sits bones are like the peak of a mountain, and our straight spine is getting us all the way to the peak of the mountain. Your neck isn't going too forward or too back. It's an extension of the straight spine. Great. From here, let's inhale into plank. So again, straight spine, no curve. You want to broaden your shoulders. Feel your scapula stretch away from each other. Straight spine, straight legs. And then from here, let's bring in the right knee to the chest and lift up the spine to stretch the back body. And inhale back to plank. Exhale, left knee to chest, stretching the spine, almost like reaching to downward dog. Inhale back to plank. One more on each side. So exhale, knee to chest. Inhale to plank. Exhale, left knee to chest. Arching back, and inhale to plank. Great, let's bring the knees down to the ground. Let's come into a really nice child's pose. Feel everything release into the ground. You can always put a cushion over here if it's hard, if it's a little difficult to get into child's pose. Two more deep breaths. From here, with every breath, again, feel every single vertebra of the spine stretch. And then release all the tension into the ground. One more breath. And then we'll make our way back to downward facing dog. You might notice you feel a little looser than the last time. You can still pedal it out and lift up from the knees with the thighs to strengthen the momentum up to your hips. Long, straight spine. And now from here, let's take baby steps to the top of the mat. And you can have your feet either hip-width apart or to touch at the toes and the heels slightly wide apart. And we're going to stay in a nice forward fold here for a moment. You can always bend the knees, rest the chest on the knees, again to really feel the stretch in the spine. You can kind of move around from side to side to stretch out any kinks you might have, or just rest in a forward fold. Every breath is like a huge relief and release of tension from the sits bones all the way down the spine, out the top of the head, and into the earth, which is always supporting you. Now let's take a nice deep inhale. On the exhale, bend the knees slightly and rolling up from the base of the spine, one vertebra at a time, very slowly coming to stand. And once we're in this standing position, your head is the last thing to come up. Make sure your shoulders are nice and back, but without forcing anything. You want to feel nice, solid shoulders, as wide and low from the ears as possible. The pelvis is nice and tucked in so that we're not overreaching in any way. Just strong like a mountain pose. Just take a deep breath here. You might want to bring your hands together to chest and just feel so much gratitude for what you're doing with your spine and just all the energy you're adding to your whole entire system. It's just wonderful. Okay, on an out breath, we can bring the hands down. And now we're going to do warrior one. So let's bring the left foot back about 2.5, 3 feet, whatever's comfortable for you, at a 45-degree angle facing the front of the room or the mat. And now from here, you might find, we're sort of we're not sure where to go with the pelvis. We want to bring our front body to the front of the room. So we want to try to get our pelvis and our hip bones aligned as much as possible. Again, straight spine. And then on an inhale, we're going to bring the arms up and lower the right knee. Ideally so that the knee is resting over the ankle. And then once we're in the position, just feel it out. Make any adjustments you need to kind of swivel forward, get the hips straight, arms up, shoulders dropped, long straight spine, head stacked over shoulders, over hips. And let's take 2 deep breaths. Great, on an exhale, bring the arms down and come up to the front of the mat. And we'll do the other side. So bringing the right foot back. If you have trouble balancing, you can always bring the foot out wider, or you can bring it more towards the midline, whatever is more comfortable for you. Same thing, swivel the hips forward so that we have a nice alignment. You're feeling nice and strong and steady as we inhale, lifting the arms up, dropping the left knee down. Warrior One. This is a very empowering pose. We feel strong and motivated to do whatever we want to do, to accomplish whatever we want to accomplish. Straight spine, gaze straight ahead. Unfocused but clear. One more deep breath. And on an exhale, let's come back to the front of the mat and take a couple of deep breaths, feeling the energy flow through the superhighway of the spine, allowing a whole unity from head to foot. So now we're going to do a nice triangle pose. So we can come a little bit back, and then we're going to again bring the left foot back, this time with the back leg facing the front, perpendicular to the edge of the mat. And just play it out, whatever feels like a nice width for you. From here, make sure your spine is straight. Bring out the arms, and then looking over your right, beyond, just slightly beyond the right fingers, we're going to tilt to one side again, like we have walls on either side of us, keeping us nice and flat, not forward or back. Reaching over, and when you're as far as you can go, bringing the hand down, the right hand down. Anywhere that it lands is good. It could even be on the floor. And then bringing the left hand up, and looking up if it's comfortable for you. You can also just look straight ahead if there's too much strain on your neck. And it's never too late to make any adjustments, so feel where there's any sticky spots in your spine and just kind of adjust. We are obviously doing a twist here, which you can feel. So see what you can do to bring in the pelvis into neat alignment. Raise the chest up as though you're pulling from the bottom of the ribs here all the way up. And one more deep breath. And then strong in the back leg, we can come up and switch sides. So bring the right foot forward and the left foot to the front of the mat. Straight spine, leaning over the left side until you can't go any further. And then down. Anywhere that your hand lands. Again, make sure we have steady hips that are nice and aligned so that the right hip is coming back, and then bringing up through the ribs here all the way up to the chest. Feeling all these straight lines and flow. Nothing being cut off anywhere. If it feels tight, you can relax out of the pose a little bit and just work with the breath to create space. Great. On an inhale, strong back leg, which helps you to come up. And then let's bring both feet forward to face the front of the mat. We can have the hands on the hips, shoulders back, another really strong pose here. You're feeling all the way from the outer foot and the heel, straight line through, all the way up the legs as we stand with the straight back. Another very tall and proud pose. From here you can keep your hands on your hips, or you can bring them clasped behind you. And then from the hips, straight spine, we're going to, on an exhale, lean down. Stop halfway. Nice flat back, perpendicular to the ground. Take a breath. And then exhale all the way down and lower the hands to the mat. Anywhere that's comfortable. You might want a cushion or two to help you to land, as long as you keep the integrity of the spine and the straight legs. And just release. With every inhale, We're stretching the spine out. On the exhale, we're trying to get our spine to remember what it feels like to not be compressed and to let it all out. There's no gravity for the spine to be concerned with here. Everything can hang loose. You can bring the hands further back in line with your feet if you'd like. And long, deep breaths. One more. Exhale, release. And then hands at the hips. Straight legs coming up with a straight spine all the way to standing. Bring the arms out, right foot towards the front of the mat. And on an exhale, let's drop the knee into warrior two. So again, we are keeping the upper leg straight in line with the hips, knee over the ankle, and take a deep breath. Very empowering pose. And then inhale up, switch sides so the feet move exactly in opposite to what you've just done. And then your hips pointing forward, but your gaze beyond the fingers. Inhale, exhale, knee down. Flat between two boards, knee over the ankle. You can always check and adjust to see if you are in the right position. And breathe. Strong, steady, sturdy legs, and nothing but upward movement and power and lightness in the top of the body. Inhale up, and then we're going to come to the front of the mat. And just like we came up from a forward fold before, we're going to go down in the same way. So we're going to bend the knees, and then slowly we're going to arch down, your strong legs supporting you as you reach towards the earth, hands to the ground. If you're comfortable, you can straighten the legs. Every exhale is another chance to release your spine. And then on an exhale, we'll work our way back into downward facing dog. And this is the last downward facing dog. So see if you can find that position with the strong legs pushing all the way up to the hips. Your spine is just a long, straight, flexible, expansive part of your whole figure. And exhale, knees to the ground. And let's come into a wide child's pose. So knees a bit wider, resting your chest between your knees, and release. One more deep breath. And slowly coming up, and we're going to lie on our backs. And keeping the feet flat against the ground, as close to your sits bones as you can. As you might want to lift with your hand, your head, and pull it back so that you create more space along your neck. Palms facing down on the mat. You can bring your heels in a little closer, that's great. And we're going to come up into bridge pose. So you're pressing with your palms against the mat. Inhale from the hips up. And only come as far as is comfortable. You might find that you can even rest on your shoulders a little bit. Up. Take a deep breath here. And then at the end of the exhale, coming down. This is such a nice spinal massage in addition to doing a little bit of a back bend to counter the front forward fold we just did. Inhale one more time, up. Squeezing in at the buttocks. Chest to chin, chin a little bit raised so you elongate the neck. And exhale down. And our last position here, we're going to do happy baby. It's such a nice sounding thing, and if you've ever seen a baby do this effortlessly, you know that this is something we all want to aspire to. So bringing the feet up, you can do it one at a time if it's more comfortable, bringing the hands on the inside of the knee and then your elbow on the inside of the knee, hand on the outside of the foot. And if you can do both, great. If not, you can do one at a time. And then gently pressing the feet and the knees towards the ground, towards your shoulders. And just feel this absolutely magical stretch of the lower back. Feel the spine flush against the ground, how comforting that is, how grounded and how in your body you feel. Make sure your neck is not compressing in any way, and just breathe. You can even play with stretching the legs out a little bit or rolling, whatever you need to get this one last stretch in. And when you're ready, let's come all the way down, flat back, legs again on the ground into Shavasana, our final resting position here, with your palms facing up and away from your body. Just letting everything go. You might think you've let everything go, but give yourself another chance, another breath. And on the exhale, see if there's anything else you can let just drop right and into the ground. Just melt completely. No movement, no strength required. And just take a moment here to feel the energy running through your body. See if you can feel any difference, any sense of looseness or expansiveness that may not have been there at the beginning of the practice. And allow your breath to be natural, noticing if it might be just a little bit deeper than it was at the beginning. And you can feel free to stay here as long as you like, or you can gently roll to the side and come into a comfortable seating position. Let's bring our hands to the chest, closing your eyes, and say a quick thank you to yourself for taking the time in your day to give your body the massage, the opportunity to relax and to release, to stretch the way that it needs to for you to function as well as you can. Thank you so much for being here with me today for this practice. I hope it was a benefit. Let me know if you have any comments below, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. Namaste.